Welcome to the Viking Age podcast. It's the official podcast of the VikingAge.com. My name is Chris Schad. I'm a writer for the Viking Age Zone coverage. Bring me the news and the Brookings Register. My co-host is Adam Patrick, who is the managing editor of the Viking Age. We do this every Monday with a late week episode right here on the Viking Age YouTube channel. We're also in podcast form on Apple and Spotify the very next day, but however you consume us, make sure you rate, comment, like, and subscribe so you never miss a new episode and we can spread the word to the masses. Adam, let's get right into it because everybody is waiting for it. They want some analysis. The Pro Bowl, man. What do you think?
Well, you're off to a bad start because it's the Pro Bowl games now. It's not even known as the Pro Bowl anymore.
Sorry.
It's so many things going on. You know, they have dodgeball, I don't know, horseshoes, chutes and ladders. I don't know what they have anymore. I just know Daniil Hunter. I think he helped win tug of war. Andrew DePaula did good on like the long snapping accuracy competition. And CJ Ham did good at jumping out of the way in dodgeball. So that's the Vikings spin on the Pro Bowl, and I believe Baker Mayfield won like the MVP. So that's all you need to know about the Pro Bowl. One, that Baker Mayfield was even there, yeah, it's I don't know. I wish it was just like back in Hawaii and they just did the exhibition game again, but guys wouldn't want to play anyways because they don't want to get hurt. So whatever.
Yeah, how much of the Pro Bowl games did you watch?
0%.
Yeah.
Well, same. I guess more than 0% because I watched a couple clips on like Twitter or something. So I don't know if that counts, but because it was just like I think it was just Vikings fans or one of those aggregator accounts being like, or it might have just been the Vikings account that was like, look, it's Daniil Hunter, he's there. But I know that each player got like $90,000 to be there, so that's why they were there.
Soon to be former Viking Daniil Hunter, apparently.
Yeah, we'll see.
I don't know. I mean, to each fan their own. If you were glued to the TV on Sunday nights and just like, oh my God, it's the Pro Bowl. This is Justin Jefferson. Did Jefferson make the Pro Bowl, or is he?
No.
Okay.
Who did that? That people were like, yeah, they need to shut down the Pro Bowl. I think the quarterbacks were like C.J. Stroud. Was Gardner Minshew there? You laughed.
Tyler Huntley.
I was gonna say you laughed, but Tyler Huntley was there. I just remember growing up and watching like Randy Moss actually like play in the game and Dante Culpepper chucking TDs to like Terrell Owens and stuff.
Was Tim Boyle at the Pro Bowl? Can you confirm or deny?
No, I can confirm that he was.
Zach Wilson, did he make the cut this year?
No.
I don't know. Like Aaron Rodgers wasn't. He could have been there, but you know, the doctors just said no. He is a modern marvel of medical, or I can't even say the words, but you know what I'm saying here. Just yeah, man. I mean, yesterday was weird. I'm not going to beat around the bush. It was weird not having football on. And I mean, yeah, I could have watched it if I wanted to. I was watching South Dakota against South Dakota State men's basketball, and somebody responded, I would rather die than watch that. But I said, so what are you watching? Oh, the Pro Bowl. I'm like, sounds interesting. Yeah. Sounds very interesting.
You know what? There were a lot of people there. I will say that. And then I was like, I wonder if tickets were free because that'd be a easy way to get people in there. But
that is like, I saw this on Twitter today. They're having a press conference for WrestleMania in Las Vegas later this week.
Are they like selling packages?
Yeah, they're selling so you could pay $2,500 to go to a press conference. You get a photo with Triple H, though. I mean,
okay.
So there's that. I mean, that's still more.
You get to
that's more than I paid for my Rumble seat.
You should be able to answer a question.
You should be able to fight. You should be able to take the main event spot at WrestleMania if you pay that much. There should be like an option. Like
you're gonna have to fight The Rock for that.
You can now fight Roman Reigns or The Rock, whoever you may choose, if you pay this much.
Yeah, that's really weird. But I guess they're just going all out and like with the sponsorships and the packages and everything, especially since Vince McMahon is gone. I guess he was big on like not having brands kind of like just plastered all over everything, and that's kind of gone away since he left because they have Slim Jim everywhere and they have C4 everywhere. So like, I mean, they're making a lot of money. So
this Hell in a Cell match is brought to you by Ruffles.
Right?
Stuff
Yeah.
your face while someone
Exactly.
gets stuffed
Their
with
face.
barbed wire. I don't know.
Yeah.
We should probably move on. More wrestling talk later in the show, I
Speaking
promise.
of stuffing your face with barbed wire, Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, just about as enjoyable. Just watching Kirk Cousins talk about free agency. Hey, it's time for the latest installment of Kirk Watch 2024 because Kirk was interviewed by Sky Sports in the UK. The interviewer, and I don't have his name, but he said, "I don't mean to create headlines," says the guy who was clearly trying to create a headline with this question. He asked him, "Hey, what's going on with free agency, man? How you doing? How are things going?" And Kirk was like, many people ask, including friends and family, are surprised to learn that the conversations really don't start until March. So I would love to know where I'm going. I would love to get those conversations going, but now I'm just sitting at home watching the playoffs. I don't have much going on except for rehab, but I really have to wait until the first couple of weeks to March to be in those conversations. So that's what we're doing. We're just waiting it out, including my own team with the Vikings. We'll learn where I'm going to end up, but I've got a few more weeks to wait. Acknowledge the head of the negotiation table, Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
He is the tribal chief. He is going to get that $50 million. Maybe not from the Vikings, maybe from someone. Kirk Cousins is going to get paid. And that is why he's waiting until March. Do you think he's just ghosting the Vikings at this point? Like Quasey's just like, I don't understand why he's not answering. This is weird. What do you make of these comments?
I think that, well, we know that Quasey's drawn the line in the sand, with an amount or whatever that they're willing to go to, but not go over, and contract lengthwise and stuff like that. We know that. And I think Kirk Cousins probably realizes, like, okay, I'm probably not gonna be able to get what I want from the Vikings. So, let's be smart and let's explore the market. I think he still views the Vikings as a place he could end up, maybe more as like a backup plan if he's not able to get what he wants, maybe say from Atlanta or New England or, I don't know, Las Vegas. That would be hilarious if Kirk Cousins was quarterback for a Las Vegas team. But yeah, for him to be like, oh yeah, we gotta wait for March to negotiate. No, you don't. You can go into Quasey's office tomorrow and work something out. It's been done many times in the past by many players. If teams want you back, they like to avoid you going to free agency, especially since his dead money kicks in before free agency even begins. I believe on March 11th. So the Vikings, if they would really like him back, they would like to negotiate before March, probably. Now I think things will probably pick up when the combine begins at the end of this month, which is February, not March. And we'll learn more about that. And I think that might probably actually be like the last maybe ditch effort to probably try to work something out between Cousins and the Vikings. And if someone doesn't come out of that, then I would just assume that he's going to be elsewhere. And I have no problem with him trying to go get his money elsewhere. He's like less than 1% of the people in the world get the opportunity to do what he's doing right now and go get paid as much as possible. Go get your money while you can. Just don't get it from the Vikings because they're not in a position right now to sign someone at his age coming off a torn Achilles injury, and to invest, the amount of money that he probably wants into him. They're just not in that position to really do anything with someone like that.
But how I feel about Kirk. I would totally give him that $50 million. He's just so accurate and he knows the offense. And
you Kevin O'Connell?
His teammates love him. And sometimes I just think of Kirk in a pair of chaps riding a bull with a bottle of barbecue sauce in hand. Just like you really, yeah, it's spicy. You got add a little sweet and spicy with it. Look. I don't know. I'm already sick about talking about this. That's why we have an entire episode
We do.
with all of our takes on Kirk Cousins. So if you're like, do these guys want Kirk Cousins to stay or not? Go ahead and check out our episode on the great debate of Kirk Cousins 2024. It's in our YouTube feed. We go for a full hour and we go pros, cons, everything else. So you can check us out there.
There's even some surprises in there.
There are some surprises in there. You know, I remember when Kirk was cleaning out his locker and he talked to everybody about the hometown discount, right? Remember that quote where he's like, you know, it's not about the dollars, it's about what they represent. And then he put a chain on his neck and rapped like he was John Cena. You know, that quote was really weird to me, how like people just ran with it, like Kirk Cousins willing to take a hometown discount. That's not what he said. That's not what he said, because if we're talking about what the dollars represent, you know, if the Vikings offer him $10 million, they're probably not looking at him as a long-term option, right? They're looking at him as a stopgap for an heir apparent. He knows what the hell is going on here. He's not an idiot. Like, I know he acts like Ned Flanders and he walks around like that all the time, but I mean, he knows the Vikings want a succession plan. He knows that the Vikings are also terrified of any other quarterback that's not Kirk Cousins playing for the Vikings. So
not all of them.
I think
Kevin
they
O'Connell
are.
probably is.
I don't think they are.
Well, the Wilfs and Kevin O'Connell, I would agree with that, but not
Okay.
Kwesi. I think Kwesi's like, let's go, come on.
The Wilfs are probably like prying Kwesi's eyes open like Clockwork Orange and just like, watch quarterback again. Look at how he's talking to his kids. That's worth $50 million alone. As he's like, he takes Tuesdays off. He's such a family man. You have to pay him. They just force feed him clips of Nick Mullins and Josh Dobbs like throwing interceptions and fumbling. Just like, you can't do this to us. We're gonna go 3-13. We're gonna be terrible forever if Kirk leaves. Like,
I need to say something. You just brought that up. When people say that, when people are like, we're only going to win 3 games or 4 games if we lose Kirk. Okay, these are the same people that will tell you QB wins aren't a stat. Oh, okay. So then what does it matter if he leaves? He doesn't have any impact. It's the whole team, right? So if he leaves, they should be fine. No, they're going to win 3 or 4. Oh, you can't have both. You cannot have both.
Like, here's the thing with Kirk. So I mean, there are a couple things here. You also mentioned he should go and get as much money as he can. He should. He's the 36-year-old quarterback coming off a torn Achilles, and people are willing to give him money. I totally get it. There's some people who are just like, well, he's got to sign a contract before his dead money kicks in. No, he doesn't. You know why? Because the Vikings could have agreed to a contract and avoided this whole fucking mess. But instead, it was, well, we want to have our foot in the future and the present. We want to compete and rebuild. What if I told you there was a word? Like, Kwesi's going to get one of those Elon Musk chips implanted into his brain or something. Like, he's just going to do it before the opener in front of everybody just to fight. They just have like, for whom the bell tolls, like blasting, and Elon's sitting there with his chip, like, dun, 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 dun. I'm off the rails already.
We are off the rails.
This is going poorly.
February
but
5th.
I mean, there's enough desperate teams that someone's going to want to pay him. And I mean, that doesn't make him selfish. I mean, it's just weird to me that people jumped over that quote and said, Kirk's willing to like play for a discount or whatever. I don't want to hear discount at all. Like last year, he was willing to take a discount and he wanted 2 years fully guaranteed. That's not a discount. That's not a discount. Might be in his mind, oh, I'm only going to take 30 million instead of 40 million, but I want all of that money instead. Yeah. So you're getting more money than, say, Daniel Jones or Jordan Love's future contract or whatever. They're going to bring in the Brinks truck for Jordan Love. I want more than that guy. Like, again, Kirk's not an idiot. We're going round and round and round. Like, this podcast was so tough to prepare for because we're talking about the same things over and over. This is like Groundhog's Day. I feel like Bill Murray, and there's not a hot chick in sight for me to like turn this into a love story. Like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, and you mentioned that he said that what the quote that he said was in the locker room. What was he supposed to say in the locker?
Dude, I'm fucking leaving.
I'm out of here. Like, yeah, all his teammates are packing up. He's like, screw you, screw you, screw you.
Brian
I'm out of here.
O'Neill's in tears, like,
Yeah.
1,000,000,000,000,000% I want him back. And Kirk's
Yeah.
like, nah, I ain't coming
What's he
back.
supposed to say?
I'm not gonna be here, guys. Sorry about that.
We've clearly seen the
Oh,
difference in his comments outside of the locker room and inside the locker room. He's a little more, I feel like, reserved with his comments outside. He's always quick to be like, "Oh, we'll see how it goes." And when he was inside the locker room, he's like, "Yeah, of course, I would love to be back here with the Vikings in Minnesota. I'd love to retire as a Viking." But
goes
since
home. Oh, sorry.
yeah,
I'm stepping
since
on you.
since since that's ended, he's all like, "Oh we'll have to see. Free agency begins in March, and you'll have to tune in at 8 p.m. Central when free agency begins." Yeah, so
This season
it's
on quarterback, Kirk throws
yeah.
all his Viking stuff into a garbage can and lights it on fire. Just
Are they
like,
doing that again? Are they doing that show again?
I think they
Or
were trying to find people and then they couldn't. They
did they
couldn't.
say were they doing coaches
Let's see.
instead? I think I might have heard that they were going to
Let's
do like
see here.
coaches.
Quarterback season 2. Do. Let's see. Peyton Manning finally lands star for quarterback. Okay, so Amon-Ra St. Brown is gonna star.
What?
who's who's not a quarterback.
No.
Okay,
Brad
Matthew
Pitt?
Stafford. I
Okay.
see that. I'm doing a Google search here. This is great. So let's
Huh.
see. Why are people so paranoid? Like it's just so here's maybe I'm thinking out loud here, but here's part of my reasoning. Wrestling term again, but last year's quarterback was the ultimate double turn. Like
Yeah.
it. So like people who don't speak wrestling, you'll have a match where you have a good guy and a bad guy in the same ring. And
Yep.
then by the end of the match, the bad guy is the good guy and the good guy is now the bad guy. Like that's the double turn. Like between Kirk Cousins and Patrick Mahomes,
Mm-hmm.
that's the turn because like before that show, like Kirk Cousins, everybody liked him, and but I mean they didn't love him, right? Like if he would have left, everyone, well, he checked down on 4th and 8 and
It was
before the thing.
polarizing.
Yeah, and then he goes in the show and it's like, dude, this guy's like normal. He's got like Cole's cash and he's
Well, it's
got
Barnes and Noble.
kids and he goes to Barnes and Noble and reads books and he takes Tuesday off to be with his family and wow, I really like this Kirk Cousins guy. Then his Achilles pops. He's like on the sideline with a boombox and he's like, my Kirk, I'm sorry, Kirk. I never should have said those things about you. And then he's ripping his shirt off on the stage, just like trying to get everybody fired up. Meanwhile, you have Patrick Mahomes, who, everybody loved him going into the show. Then he kind of has like this foul-mouthed persona. He's got the big house and like super rich and stuff. Yeah, he's cocky. But I mean, he deserves to be cocky.
Yeah.
He's the best quarterback in the NFL, right? But like then it just like went to another level. And I don't know if it's like all the other stuff with the Chiefs, but like people don't want the Chiefs to win this Super Bowl, which is a nice segue because they are basically like the NWO heading into Sunday's game.
They're the Rock.
Yeah, Chiefs and Niners, man. What are you thinking?
I think it's gonna be a close game, at the very least. I don't think it's gonna be a blowout either way. I think the Chiefs' defense is gonna keep them in the game because they're much better this year. And the Niners, I don't know. I don't want to ever bet on a championship game involving Kyle Shanahan. Would never, ever, ever put money on the team that he's on the coaching staff of in a championship game. And Patrick Mahomes only lost what? He lost the Super Bowl against the Bucs because of their pass rush. And I would say that the Chiefs' offensive line is much better than it was during that game. But yeah, I'll stick with the Chiefs. If they win, I feel like Andy Reid might retire. I feel like Travis Kelce could retire if he wanted to. Look at Travis Kelce. He doesn't need the NFL anymore. Like, he's good.
No,
he doesn't need it. He's gonna make so much money after his career already that he doesn't. I don't see any reason for him to continue. But also, he's a football player, so he just likes to play. But yeah, I think it's gonna be a good game. It'll be curious to see how like the the field conditions are after last year, where everyone was slipping all over the place. But yeah, I don't know. I'm curious to see just like all the stuff leading up to the week, because it's Monday now and people are still like flooding into Vegas for Radio Row and all that stuff. And once again, it is Vegas, so players could get into some shenanigans. Either players on the Chiefs, Niners, or other teams as well, because there's going to be a bunch of other players around for the festivities, obviously. So it'll be interesting to see. I don't think. No, I'm not even going to say it. I'm not that mean. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I wonder if they'll talk about that singer that won Album of the Year last night.
Yeah. What's her name? I can't think about it.
Miley Cyrus?
We'll probably see Kadarius Toney, my guy K-Truth, at the craps table, just like, oh shit, kickoffs in 5 minutes. I gotta go.
Yeah.
Like
what did he just say? Like AI messed up his Instagram Live, I think, and put words in his mouth. That's what he's saying now.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's cool, bro. You can the Chiefs are gonna be like, you can go home now.
I remember before the draft, Matt Waldman kind of hinted, he's like, yeah, he's a pretty talented player, but there's a little bit of knucklehead to him. And like as we
Clearly
kind of gone through here, he's lining up on the offense. He's lining up on defense when the Chiefs are on offense. Like, all right, you ready, Pat? And no, dude, you're on the other team. Like, go over there. No, I got this. I got this. I'm open. I don't remember a Super Bowl where I couldn't stand so many players on the field. There are so many players that I just cannot stand right now. Like Patrick Mahomes, respect him as a football player. He's an absolute alien. I'm tired of him. I think I have Chiefs fatigue, whatever. I can't even say it anymore.
Yeah, 6 straight AFC championships.
Yeah, I mean he's the new Tom Brady. That's a stock quote, but I mean it's the truth, because people don't want to see him win. He's the ultimate bad guy. Christian McCaffrey, I can't stand him. Like I sorry, no, I don't know if it's just because of last NFC Championship game. He's like, we would have been in the Super Bowl if it weren't for an injury. And
well, he played quarterback. He could have helped out.
Yeah, he could have helped out as well. Yeah, I mean, he was the third quarterback, wasn't he, in that NFC Championship game? I mean, there's Brock Purdy, who, like, I don't know, they might send a scheme at him and like sparks will shoot out of his ass or something, just like does not compute, error, or like one of his Avengers teammates goes down and he's like, oh, I don't know what to do.
Did you know the Vikings tried to sign him, or they wanted to sign him before he was drafted? Have you ever heard about that?
Yeah, that's been out there. Yeah,
no one's ever mentioned that. Of course,
like you would have succeeded with Kevin Owens. Sure. Hey, Brock. I mean, you know how I feel about Kirk, and like he's totally. I don't know. That quote's just gonna be drilled in my brain. I mean, there's Trent Williams, there's Nick Bosa, there's offensive genius Kyle Shanahan.
I like their linebacker. Who's the Niners linebacker? Went to BYU. What's his name?
Oh, shoot. What is his name?
He's so good. We don't know his name.
That's Fred Warner?
Yeah. I like George Kittle.
It was like a weird one. George Kittle. Hey, that's what I was going to get to.
Okay.
Can George Kittle just be a solo Super Bowl champion? You don't give it to the 49ers. It's just like George Kittle is the suit. Well, what about my team? No, don't worry about them. It's all you, bro. Like, here's your title. He'd probably be excited if you gave him a title belt.
If they win, he's definitely gonna do the Austin 316 with like champagne and just like
like
that's a guarantee.
He might stunner a guy too on the stage. that is not out of the question. George Kittle, awesome. The tight end on the other team, I hate him. I completely hate him. And this isn't a Taylor Swift thing either. Like, Swifties are gonna be like, to stop making fun of Taylor's boyfriend. No, the guy's a tool, like an absolute tool. I cannot get couple of reasons. I cannot get that post-game speech out of my head from, oh yeah, all the haters and doubters out there. Yeah, you know who you are. You doubted the Chiefs all year. It's like, dude, you were fucking Super Bowl favorites the entire goddamn year. And then, there's the other thing. Like, I'm reading shit online that's just like, Travis Kelce invented the fade haircut because Taylor likes it. Like, what the fuck? What is going on? And like, yeah, you know what? I heard Travis Kelce invented electricity. You know why?
Yeah.
Because sparks fly whenever you smile. Like,
Listen,
Like
I don't.
people love his podcast too. I don't know why. I don't know why. Jason Kelsey, awesome. Travis, like Cy Amundsen had this comment. If you covered Travis Kelsey in white fur, you would have the perfect white rapper muffet for Sesame Street. Like I can't stand him. I dropped him in a dynasty league a long time ago. And like the guy that picked him up is just the biggest jackass imaginable about it. Like to the point, like depression and all that stuff. Every time I see him, I think of him. And
so there's a
go ahead.
history. There's
a big history. I don't want to see Travis Kelce win another ring. I'm sorry to all the Swifties out there. I'm sorry. This is nothing to do with Taylor. I hope Taylor and Travis are happy and live happy. Yeah. He's gonna win the Super Bowl and he's gonna propose. He's gonna be like, and then he's gonna ride off in the sunset. And oh, he's so romantic. Get fucked. Like, oh.
Hey, you gotta be careful here. This is a Chiefs owned website.
Yeah, I think they're at my door right now. Sorry, guys. It's nothing personal.
We didn't accuse Taylor of doing anything mystical or anything, though, so we don't have to worry about that. I'm gonna play devil's advocate. I don't mind Travis Kelce at all. Like I think all the hate on him has to do with Taylor Swift and the fact that people think like he's just dating her for like fame and stuff. And people are like, no. I've seen clips where like tight ends aren't supposed to be famous, and like nobody knew who Travis Kelce was before Taylor Swift. I'm like, he's like, people are like, he's one of the greatest tight ends of all time. What are you talking about? Like, and people like tight ends aren't famous. Gronk, Shannon Sharp, Tony Gonzalez. Like, what are you talking about? So yeah, I have no problem with Travis Kelce. I would say I have more of a problem with Patrick Mahomes this year after that offsides call that was offsides, and they're all like, oh, the refs are always out to get us, and it's like, what?
First time?
Yeah. Like, no, they're not. They're out to help you every week. Which, you know, they've earned that 6 straight AFC championships. That's what you get. That's part of the that comes with the success, whether people like it or not. But yeah, I much rather. I don't really dislike anybody, but like I'd much rather dislike Patrick Mahomes than Travis Kelce. I'm fine with Kelce. I don't like search out for his content or anything, but I don't mind him at all. Sorry
to each their own.
Yeah.
Like I can't argue with anything you just said. I mean, he is one of the greatest tight ends of all time.
Yeah.
He's, an excellent football player. And like I said, it has.
I think I like him more than Gronk.
I love Taylor Swift's music. Like, come on. Like,
I think I like him more than Gronk, to be honest.
Yeah.
Gronk's just like too big dummy for me. Like I don't.
Gronk's like a big lovable dummy though. Like you like Gronk because he's so dumb.
I feel bad for him sometimes, but yeah.
Just like, what happened? Did you eat paint chips as a kid or whatever?
Like he's on I think he's on the pregame show or whatever for Fox or whatever, and he's on there with like actual people who know how to talk, and he talks, and I'm just like, you shouldn't be up here. Like what are you talking?
Does Terry Bradshaw know how to talk though?
Nah, yeah, that's fair. Like he forgot how to talk a long time ago, but
yeah,
he's just there because he can't talk, and it's funny. So, but yeah, I've never really enjoyed Gronk's whole thing. Like even when he was in WrestleMania or whatever, he was the host or whatever the fuck that was during the pandemic. That was the one WrestleMania I didn't even watch, so I don't really know what happened. But yeah, just not really a Gronk guy. No,
that was the one they had at the performance shelter, like it was a bomb shelter or something. Like they just like buried it.
That.
They
had good matches.
Yeah, and they didn't even have like crowd noise. Like they didn't think to like put crowd, so it's like dead silence, just two guys beating the hell out of each
isn't
other.
there like a training mode on like WWE 2K or whatever? You could And
Just
it's
pipe
just
it
like
in.
you're training in there, and all you hear is like the echo of the ring every time. Yeah, that's what it sounded like. It was weird. The Thunderdome was way better, and they didn't do but at the same time, they didn't really know how long that was gonna last, so they didn't want to like invest in something. But yeah, I still haven't watched any of that.
What a time to be alive, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Now that we've bored everybody with like Travis Kelce rants and wrestling talk, let's make some Super Bowl
Let's
picks.
do more.
What do you think about that? Let's make some prop bets. I was gonna keep track of these, but nah. Like,
No.
what are we gonna do? Like, the winner gets to call the other dumbass on next week's show. It'll be totally fine. So, I have some categories here,
Okay.
and we're just gonna go make some picks here, I guess. Coin toss, heads or tails.
Oh wow. You always gotta go tails because that's what Randy Moss and Dante Culpepper do on PlayStation. So you gotta go tails.
They don't play the PlayStation like this.
Right,
I'll
right.
take tail. I take tails every time when I'm
Yeah.
playing NCAA.
Didn't that whole thing come about because Dante called heads?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And said they don't play the
Randy's
PlayStation
like, you
like
idiot.
us. How
You
about
idiot.
How about the length of the national anthem by Reba McEntire? Over under
Reba.
86.5 seconds.
Reba. What is that? That's like a minute and a half?
Yes.
I'll go under because she's older and I feel like her voice probably can't sustain that much length, I guess.
I'll go over. Mm-hmm. And Reba is another person I have a vendetta against.
Oh no.
Maybe I should be like an old person at the grocery store.
Because of her show?
Huh?
Because of her show?
No. This is a way better story. But like, so anyway, my friend got married a couple years ago, and they got married over by is between Treasure Island, which is in Red Wing, and Stillwater. So I needed to get a hotel in order to go to this wedding. Well, I had called as soon as I got the invite, and I made the call, and they're like, everything's sold out. I'm like, why is everything sold out? They didn't like do a block of rooms. And he goes, well, no, Reba McEntire's at Treasure Island. So I had to stay 10 miles away in Hastings, and like Hastings doesn't have like Uber. Like people don't want to drive all the way down because it's like in the southeast corner of the metro area. It's not even, it's technically not like the metro area. It's just like way the hell out there. So like, yeah, that was a pain in the ass to get a hotel room and get to the wedding, which was on an order. Glad I went to the wedding. It was a lot of fun, but pain in the ass.
When was that?
This was, I think it was pre-COVID. So, or maybe it was like the year after, but yeah, 2021, maybe 2019. I think 2021.
Her fan base is that big?
Yeah, apparently. I mean,
that's crazy.
Country stars, man. I saw Jelly Roll at Royal Rumble. Yeah. Like, a lot of people were excited. I was like, I snapped a picture. I was like, well, his
guitarist, his guitarist is a Vikings fan. I had him on the
Jelly
podcast.
Rolls?
Yeah, I had him on the podcast like a long time ago. Yeah. Yeah, because he used to be in a band that he has. You know what? The theme song for our podcast is written by the guitarist for Jelly Roll, his old band. There you go. Now you know. Learn something new every day.
The more you know. You know who else was at Royal Rumble?
Cody Rhodes,
Aaron Jones.
Oh, I did see him in the audience because
I was very glad his schedule worked out for him to be there.
Yeah.
Moving on. Yes, Brock Purdy over under 245.5 passing yards.
I'll go more because Kyle Shanahan's stupid, and even if they're up by a lot, he's not going to run the ball.
If this were air yards, I would go under.
Right.
But because he's got the Avengers everywhere, I will go over because,
C-Mac.
2-yard pass and a 50-yard run by C.
Great
they
job,
do these things.
Brock.
What's that?
I said, great job, Brock. You threw 80-yard touchdown, but you only threw 2 yards.
They do these things called screens. I don't know if you've heard of them. They're actually
tight ends?
Yeah, well, no, they use like wide receivers and
Fullbacks?
running backs, and then they throw it like 2 yards and they go like 20 downfield. It's pretty crazy,
I think
actually.
Dalvin Cook did that once before he
Yeah.
left.
And then they're like, you're making 14 million. Let's get rid of you. We got Alexander Madison, RB1, baby. Let's give him the ball. Our friend, or excuse me, I was going to say I'm one early. Travis Kelce over under 70.5 receiving yards.
Oh, over. He's got to perform for the Swifties. He's gonna get like 20 targets.
He's going to win MVP. You heard it here. That's my.
No,
he's gonna have 89. He's gonna have 19 catches for 89 yards and propose to Taylor Swift and retire and go off to the sunset because charmed, magical
what a
life.
Terrible game. What is that? 4 yards a catch?
Yeah, I don't know, man. Patrick Mahomes, bro, I can't get 19 catches for 89 yards.
Yeah.
Like maybe he'll just have like a monster game and then he'll just go like Tecmo Bowl. Like he'll have like 189 yards and then he'll be like, bro, I gotta go back, and he'll like run 99 yards the wrong way.
You do nine
catches. Taylor. I can't even do it. Yeah, the heart or whatever. Yeah.
You do 9 catches for 189. Then people will be like, if you just put the 9 next to the 1, then it's 1989. Yeah.
Maybe I do have a problem with Taylor, and
I don't at all.
I don't. I swear to God, I don't.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, I don't know.
You can't ignore it.
No. And it is cool because it's getting people into the game. I saw that there's that one Taylor party video that's going viral, and I'm like, they wouldn't watch the freaking Super Bowl if it wasn't for this. No. So I mean, the NFL is probably like, hell yeah, man.
Weird. Which is so weird because 150 million people watch Super Bowl,
right?
Like,
otherwise they'd go while their like boyfriends watch.
And she has like 100 million fans. So
yeah. I mean, again, nothing against her. I just hate her tool of a boyfriend. George Kittle, our guy, over under 47.5 receiving yards.
Yeah, he's weird because sometimes he has like 5 yards receiving and then he'll have like 120. Debo's playing. I'll go less because they got Ayuk and Debo and McCaffrey. I feel like
I'll go over.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt you. You could have kept going while I was doing
it. I was just thinking out loud. Like, Debo is playing, Ayuk's playing, McCaffrey's playing. I feel like all those guys will probably have more receiving yards than George Kittle.
Yeah, I'll take over on George Kittle. It seems low. It really does. So
yeah,
I don't know.
But like, it's Vegas. They know what they're doing.
He's like their deep threat. Basically, because the other two just catch it at the line.
Ayuk's pretty fast.
Yeah, and he had that one that bounced off the Lions guy's face mask into his arms. Isaiah Pacheco running angry all the time. 68.5 rushing yards.
Oh, over for sure. Andy Reid, he's not a Kevin O'Connell. He doesn't abandon the run even if it doesn't work. So I would say over, especially if they had the lead. They're gonna pound that ball into the ground as hard as they can. So yeah, definitely put the over with that.
Oh, Isaiah Pacheco, like
McKinnon's gonna be healthy too. I saw that.
Oh, he's just like Pacheco, 7th round starter grade. Oh, I'll go over. I mean, I just like watching the guy play. I mean, for as much as I rip on him and like how he's the perfect running back because he's like cheap and like everything else, like he's just fun to watch. Mm-hmm. Like he's a really good running back. Kyle Juszczyk, over under 3.5 receiving yards.
Oh, over. I did this last week on Underdog. He had like, I think it was the same amount where it was like 3.5, and he just needed one catch. That's it. You always take those over. Those are so easy. I think there was one who was like Jared Goff was like over under 1.5 rushing yards. And like, yes, I will take this.
Yeah, I'll take that as well. I mean, he had Christmas. I think he had like 1 rushing yard, like over under 1. I'm like, sure. Yeah. If he gets 1 carry during I mean, if he doesn't get a carry, it's like whatever. There's like little ones during like NBA games too. Like if Anthony Edwards gets a block, I'm like, I'll flip the coin, see what happens there. Patrick Mahomes, or as Travis Kelce would call him, Patty Mahomes, 261.5 passing yards over under.
Oh, way over. Way over. Yeah. The Niners defense, they didn't look that great against the Lions last week or 2 weeks ago, I guess now. So yeah, and you give Andy Reid 2 weeks to prepare. Yeah, I think Mahomes will be over that for sure.
The 49ers secondary is kind of susceptible to like big plays, like more than people would think.
Yep.
Their strength is actually in their front seven,
Kirk
but not
knows.
in the back. Yeah, Kirk shredded them. Hang the manor.
Yeah, beat the Niners and they're in the Super Bowl.
Beat the Niners without.
That means
half
they're better
team,
than them.
Yes,
they're better than everybody else in the NFC because they beat the Niners.
They absolutely. I mean, we should be betting for the Chiefs in general because no team that has ever got to the Super Bowl or won the Super Bowl. I guess it
got to the Super Bowl.
So, okay. So, like, the 49ers are breaking ground. Well, then no team has ever won the Super Bowl that Kirk Cousins has beaten. So, like, we can move the goalposts just like that dark corner of Twitter.
Get the flag. No.
That's another show's bit. Come on.
Oh, sorry. No, I think I tweeted that at Judd when somebody posted, like, the Vikings beat the Niners, whatever. I was like, Judd, get the flag.
Get the flag, Judd. Get the flag. Christian McCaffrey over under 88.5 rushing yards.
That's high. I feel like
seems like it, doesn't it?
Yeah, I'd go under for that.
Did you see the thing that he was not going to buy his mom a suite?
Yeah, because they were looking at like the commissioner's suite or whatever, which is like there's other ones that are way cheaper.
Yeah.
They didn't say that though. They were like, this is the price of every suite. And I'm like, I don't believe that. And then it came out later that you could buy one for like 150 grand or something.
Honest question, because I don't know. Who is his girlfriend? Like it's like Olivia something.
Copo,
like what is she
or something?
Yeah, what does she do? Is she?
I think is she a model? I'm old. How do you do, fellow kids? I have no idea.
That's that's basically because like the NFL account was like, look, they're doing a chest bump. I'm like, who is that? I don't know who that is, but
I'm gonna look her up right now.
Yeah, go ahead. Just delete the search history when you're done.
American model and actress. There we go.
Okay. It's like Olivia Munn, who
she
was there, and we're like,
oh, she was Miss USA in 2012. Okay, all right. I don't know what movie she was in though, but
yeah. There you go. I mean, Olivia Munn, when she was dating Aaron Rodgers, I'm like, so what is she in? Oh no, she's just an actress. Oh, okay. Yeah, cool.
Wasn't she in Not Ninja?
She was in the newsroom. Yeah. Oh, she was in Transformers too?
Oh no, that's Megan Fox. I'm sorry.
Okay.
They look kind of similar. Great. We have talked about so many different things on that.
Yeah. This is what happens when the Vikings aren't in the Super Bowl. It's just kind of like we're just going all over the place. Color of the Gatorade. What you got?
Oh. Did you see the DM that somebody posted where they sent that every player? I need extra credit.
I need extra credit. What's the Gatorade color?
I like gotta go like universal that people like. Blue, I guess people like blue, right?
Oh, there's an obvious answer. It's gonna be red. Because because of Taylor.
Oh, okay.
The Chiefs are gonna win. It's gonna be red Gatorade.
Are they red? They're wearing the red jerseys, right?
Huh?
I think so. I think Chiefs are wearing.
Well, of course. I mean, they'd probably just wear the red jerseys anyway. Well, that would get a little difficult. But we have Taylor. We have to wear our red jerseys.
I wish they would do that, where both teams just wore red. That'd be great.
There's a Twins game a couple years ago because the Twins had red uniforms for a while. And I don't know if like they were just like total Midwesterners and like didn't want to like piss off the Angels, but the Angels wore their red jerseys. So both teams had red jerseys on the field and it's a little bit easier for baseball because you can kind of tell who is where. I suppose if you're running the bases, like it would be kind of weird, like to tell who's the third base coach and like that sort of thing. But
I remember, I think it was Syracuse back in the day. They might have played Clemson, and they both wore orange. Everyone's like, "What? What are you doing?"
We got to figure this out, guys. You got any extras chilling back there?
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay. So the game pick. The line is San Francisco by 2 right now. Who do you got?
Really? They're favored?
Let me double check. I looked on the action that maybe I misread it last night.
Oh, my dad texted me and said Olivia Munn was an X-Men.
X-Men. Okay. Yep. San Francisco by 2.
Huh. No, the Chiefs are winning. And they'll cover. Yeah, that's it. That's all I got. Do I have to give you a score?
Sure, if you want to give a score.
We can do Super Bowl. What was it? Super Bowl was in the 30s last year, right? With the Eagles.
Yeah.
We'll go 33-28.
I'll go 23-20 Chiefs.
Ooh. Win by
I
a
think
field goal at the end?
I think it'll be more of that Travis Kelce is actually going to kick the game-winning field goal and then look up to the box. I love you, babe. I love you.
Don't the Chiefs actually have a player who can kick too? Isn't Eric Reed on their team, the safety? I think he's been like a backup kicker before.
It's possible. Like that's how they should just do it. Like the kicker like pulls a hamstring and Travis goes, "I'll do it." Like some kind of like Disney movie shit.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, I'm just gonna go on this rant here because
Oh, boy.
I
Here you
know this show has kind of been off the rails a little
Kind
bit,
of.
and I apologize. Yeah, it's been very off the rails. But I mean, like I was writing the thing, the outline, and I'm just like, what do we want to talk about? Like, I don't really know. I guess we got the Super Bowl, we got everything. We need the Vikings to hit like crack again because this team is boring. This team, like I've said it before, where like this team just needs like an injection of energy. They need to pick a direction. They need to do something. Like we talked about Kirk Cousins at the beginning of the show, and then Kwesi's out here like competitive rebuild, 2 worlds at once. Like I need something, man, because this team outside of Justin Jefferson is boring as hell. Like we could sit here, we could talk about Kirk Cousins and the contract and everything else. And then, you know, we sat here for half this show talking about the Super Bowl in a game that I really don't care about. Like Kyle Shanahan and his flat brim hat win the Super Bowl. Congratulations, dude. Go yell at some 3rd grade referees to go celebrate. Like
Clint Kubiak too.
Yeah. What is where is Kubiak?
Clint Kubiak, he's on the Niners. He's the pass game coordinator. He's going to be on there until he goes to New Orleans.
Expert coffee guy. Yeah. probably gets the coffee really warm. Yep. Remember when Mike Zimmer suggested that Clint Kubiak couldn't hear him on the radio because they were hitting their buttons at the same time? Yeah. Clint's just like, Mike's getting ready to yell at him. He's just holding down the button. Nope. I can't hear you. Nope. This is weird, Mike. I don't understand what's going on.
You're breaking up.
Speaking of Mike Zimmer.
Yeah, there
Dallas
you go.
Cowboys.
You should be talking about that.
We should be talking. Yeah, we can do that quickly. What do you think about Mike Zimmer going to the Dallas Cowboys?
I think it's great.
It's not official yet.
Yeah, right. He interviewed with them.
Yes.
I think he interviewed with them. I think they interviewed Ron Rivera too. But yeah, that seems like an obvious fit for Mike Zimmer. I'm not sure how excited Jaron Curse feels about that, but I think that would be good. I think he would get the most out of Micah Parsons. I think he would maybe turn Trayvon Diggs into someone who can actually cover and not just get interceptions. But yeah, him just focusing on the defense, I think that would be great for the Cowboys. Now, Mike McCarthy would find a way to mess it up probably somehow, but I think it'd be a good fit.
McCarthy and Zimmer on the same team is kind of weird. Like when you think about it, right?
Yeah, I think they have like a respectful relationship because of their time together in the same division. And then McCarthy's hired, I think, some of Zim's old assistants like George Edwards, and he's had some of his old players like Everson Griffin and Anthony Barr. So I think there's some respect there. I never thought those two like were ever like malicious against each. He's no Greg Williams. So I'll tell you that for sure. Sim's not a fan of him for sure.
Like the thing is, like Mike or Bobby Petrino, right? Like, that
Yeah.
was my biggest fear. Like, if he wound up with the Packers or something, just like, could you imagine him like getting a shot at Kirk Cousins twice a year? Like, shut him down? Like, going back to US Bank Stadium, just like shutting out the Vikings, kicking down the
That
door
would
to
happen.
Ziggy's suite. And like,
That's exactly what would happen.
yeah, he'd kick down the door to the owner's suite. He'd like box jump on the thing like the Green Goblin or something. And like,
There's only one condition if Zim gets hired in Dallas. Chris Thomason has to join the Cowboys beat. So
just keep asking him. Hey, Mike, your defense gave up the most points since the beginning of World War II. And what do you think about that?
Like Zimmer goes up for his first press conference, does like a double take, and he's like, "Oh shit."
But I agree with you as well that Zimmer probably is better suited as a defensive coordinator. Because
at this point in his career,
yeah, and I mean,
at first he was a good head coach.
Do you think he'd ever get another shot as a head coach?
No, he's too old.
How old is he? He's like pushing
mid-60s,
70, isn't he?
Mid-60s, yeah.
Let's find.
And does he want to do that again? Like, that was so stressful to look after the entire team, be blamed for everything. Like, have to worry about. You think he'd want to worry about Dak Prescott's contract right now? No, I don't think so.
He is 67 years old. He'll turn 68 on June 5th.
No way. He's not. Unless the Cowboys defense is like super, super elite next year, which could be possible. They got some playmakers. Yeah, I don't think so. Like just look at all the head coaches that were hired this year. They're all in like late 30s, early 40s, and I think Dan Quinn might be in like his early 50s. The people that left: Belichick, Pete Carroll, Ron Rivera. Like, these are not young guys. So I don't think anyone's like, oh, we're gonna hold out for Zimmer. No, sorry. I like Zimmer, but I don't. I think that time passed.
I think the only way he'll be a head coach again is if like Mike McCarthy just like goes
fired.
Belly up. Yeah, like 4 games, like they're 0-4, and like the defense is doing well, but like McCarthy can't get the offense going. Like,
which
I think that would
Jerry Jones would love to do that. I feel he'd be like, oh, Zimmer, I guess you can be the head coach.
And who else on that staff is going to be like an interim coach? Kellen Moore's gone. Kellen Moore's been gone for 2 years, but
who's their OC now? Is it still Brian Schottenheimer?
I think so. Let's look here.
Making him the head coach.
Let's see. Yeah, this is great audio.
If Mike McCarthy was fired, Zim would probably take over for sure. Because he has that experience as a head coach.
Yeah, you're right. It's Brian Schottenheimer still. Like, they didn't do anything after going belly up in the playoffs. And like you said too, like the Dallas defense, yeah, they were flashy and they got a lot of, I mean, that one guy, I can't remember his name right now. He had 5 interception returns for touchdowns or whatever it was.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, he couldn't cover with a lick, but he could take it to the house if he got the ball. So I don't know. I think that would be a great hire for the Cowboys. Looking forward to it. Other coaching cycle question. You surprised Brian Flores didn't even get an interview this coaching cycle?
No. I think there's a certain legal situation going on right now that makes that less surprising. But it's funny though, because I think Steve Wilkes might have got an interview with somebody because he's the defensive coordinator for the Niners, which he's also in that lawsuit, but he's not the one who filed it. So maybe that's why. No, I'm not surprised, but I'm not sad either because Brian Flores is back, and I think that's really good for the Vikings. But
I think that might be another show. Like, what do we think about Brian Flores in year 2? Because the whole thing just kind of seemed like he was like a hitman for a year. And now you get him back for a second year. You can actually develop this defense a little bit. And I don't know what they need to do to go from like average to elite, but I feel like they could do that under Flores, especially if they
get
and
I think knowing that he's coming back also helps you kind of probably make decisions about Danielle Hunter and some other guys too, as well, knowing what you can expect from him. It probably makes it a little easier to be like, okay, we know he's really good in Brian Flores' defense, so we might be willing to like give Daniil some money to stay here for a little bit longer. So, yeah, I'm excited to see what he can do. He did a lot with very little last year, so get him some young, maybe get some more picks in the draft, get some of those guys, some guys that actually might fit his system. And because Mekhi Blackman did well last year, Ivan Pace did well, so and then get maybe some free agents in there as well. So yeah, load up on the defense, give Brian Flores some actual tools to work with, and take it from there.
So let's wrap up here. What's going on at the Viking Age right now?
It's February, so this is the month usually we start really diving into free agency, and we'll go over like position by position what free agents are available. Some positions we won't do, like probably not going to do safeties for the Vikings because they have Cam Bynum and Josh Metellus, and what other position am I not going to do? I think that's it. I think we're doing offensive tackle. Probably not going to do that because they're good with Darisaw and O'Neal, and we probably could do punters, but I don't think anyone's going to read that, so we'll shy away from
punters. Are people too, though, man.
We will do kickers. We will do kickers because the Vikings need a new kicker. That is got to be a priority. But yeah, we got lots of good stuff. We just had a mock draft come out. I think Adam Carlson did one on Sunday. We'll do some more free agency stuff. We're just covering all the stuff coming out of the Senior Bowl. I know Nick Ellen's doing some stuff. He's been doing stuff on the Senior Bowl. Keeping an eye on that. So yeah, lots of good stuff. Go over there and check it out. Off season's always a lot of fun to cover.
And where can people follow you on social media?
At Adam Patrick NFL on Twitter, X, whatever you call it these days, and on Threads, and that's it. Don't follow me anywhere else, please. Don't.
don't follow me. Like, don't follow you in person. Like only on social media. That's all we want here. Right. Well, you can follow me at the real Chris Schad. I got clips of the show. Although I'm not sure what I'm going to take out of this one. Just off the rails today. I apologize for that. But that's all the time we have for the Viking Age podcast today. We do this every Monday with a late week episode right here on the Viking Age YouTube channel. We're in podcast form on Apple and Spotify the very next day. But however you consume us, make sure you rate, comment, like, and subscribe so you never miss a new episode and we can spread the word to the masses. For Adam Patrick, I am Chris Schad. This has been the Viking Age podcast.